I only need that little piece right there.
Wasn't the dumbest thing I've ever done, but it's in the top 2.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll fix
Tyler,
it.
you're going to have to advance the slides, and I'll tell you.
Tyler.
Not yet, though.
Oh, okay, don't touch anything. Which one's the advance button? That one?
Yeah, so you'll go to that, put the mouse on that arrow. Yeah,
Yes.
All right. Then I'm ready.
All right, we're just waiting for, we got a little bit to wait, though.
Just going to wait for some people to log in here, folks. Be sure to share and like this video. If you hear a comment you like, go ahead and put the like button or the love button. If you see a comment one of these two guys say, go ahead and tell them he's going to send a comment.
Share it? Are we going to ask questions to each other on
I
here?
can do that.
Yeah, if you guys want to do, sure.
Send news. Oh, too far.
Oh.
You guys in your fancy phone.
I like that.
Oh,
Can I share it to him?
Let's get everyone online. It's going to be a great show tonight. These two characters, holy cow.
Send a text. 13 buttons later. Oh, wrong. Start all over again.
Yeah.
Your sister.
Already?
DJ said, yeah. Stop it already. You could have picked better looking guys. DJ said that actually.
Real nice.
Got a couple more to log in here, folks, and we'll get started.
I shared it.
Hey, Paul.
You look a lot better when I'm drinking, you know. 13 buttons later. Oh, wrong. Start all over again.
Oh, you can actually hear it?
Yeah, he's actually.
Wait, whoa. Okay. I did something.
You know how to work your volume?
Nope. My volume doesn't work. Oakley got a hold of my phone.
No, blame it on the kid.
I have to. She's not here. That's how you do it. Blame the person that's not here.
Keep sharing this video, folks. Let's get up to 30 people. We get this thing rolling.
Oh, why am I don't want Devin Guy. I want Claremont
Who's
Speedway.
on so far?
28.
So far, right now, we
28.
have
I'll make it
Disco
29.
Plant, Heather Carley of the 92 Wildcat this year. And DJ Gerard's on. Mark Schute's watching. Mark, thanks for watching. Karen Ambrose. Dan LaFoe watching from down along in the Carolinas. Phil Hayes, Steve Ferrell's watching. Chris Carver. Tyler Lescord's watching right here.
I just quit.
He just stopped.
Right.
Andrew Plums is watching. I love your... Tyler Lescord says that Tyler Lescord guy is a stud.
He does look like something on the back of a snow tire, doesn't he?
All right, folks, we'll get started. We get over 30 now. We got 37 watching. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Episode 5 of Daddy's Pizza. Our Facebook Live series here live from Daddy's Pizza, 50 Pleasant Street, Claremont, Hampshire. Once again, we do it all the time. Thank you to Pat and Ellen and Ashley for allowing us to host the show here. Episode 5, we got Super Street drivers and great friends. Tyler Lescord to my right.
Friends to who?
We're acquaintances. You know?
And Alex Poisson
hang
to
out
my other right. Of course, I'm Toby Batchelor along with George Powers. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. I can't believe you actually offered to do the show with us.
That was you.
Grab a mic.
I thought you were just joking around. I didn't really know you were serious.
I agree.
You can't tell these two to grab a mic. They'll have Griggs over here.
I don't think Griggs will be over here.
I'm thinking about going and helping James with his pizza since he's not going to finish it over there.
I heard he was giving out slices.
No, I'm not even in the same
He's not paying attention right
Not at
now.
all.
So, talk about how both of you started racing. Tyler, you can go first. I know both of you grew up with racing families. But talk about how you first got started in racing.
His grandfather, Irvin Reed, started it.
Well, I grew up watching my father race, sitting with my mother and my grandparents for years, and it took me until I was about probably 10 years old to be really super interested into it. Helped Dad on his pro stock for a while and stuff like that, and we bought an old car off Ricky Melcher. They was running down at Monadnock Speedway. I tried it out a couple times at the end of 2001. Absolutely loved it from the first time out. Actually, the first time I went out, I thought I was going super fast. Like, man, this really isn't even that hard. And I come back in and I watched the videotape on my aunt's phone. I'm like, man, I'm super slow. Better pick up the pace. But it's been a passion of mine since I was a kid, and there's nothing like it. Obviously watching my father do it for years. I've been hooked since day one behind the wheel.
Alex.
Okay. I'm a fourth-generation racer. My mother's brother, Wally Brown, Brownie Speed Shop. He helped me get into it. He helped me find a car. 2014 now, when I started, so 4 years ago. But my grandfather, his father, my mother's father raced, and then my great-grandfather started the whole thing. He was a driver and owner. I guess story has it he was an owner at the time, had a driver driving for him. My grandfather was 15 at the time, so he was just young enough till he couldn't drive. They forged the birth certificate because he was sick of the driver that they had. Couldn't finish up front. He's like, he needs to get out and let me drive. First race he went out and won.
No kidding.
So, story has it, that's the story, so I'm sticking to it. It tells itself the rest of the way. It's just in the family. There's nothing like it.
It took him a couple of years to talk to him around a campfire, and a few nights,
a couple beers later.
Yeah, a couple Poland Springs and some non-beer pong events and stuff like that to really spark his interest a little bit too.
Started in the 4 cylinders where it was cheap, so I thought.
Oh yeah, something like that. I've never found a cheap race car, but I'm sure they exist.
Yeah, I don't know if they exist, but.
How many race cars have you had, Kyle? How many years have you been racing?
15, I believe, if you count each season. I took a couple years off when I was in high school and knew everything and stuff like that. But 15 years, probably. I've had almost a different car every year that we've raced. Probably had 10 different cars.
It's different every race, if you didn't know.
Yeah. I like
they change setup.
Yeah, I like to customize my stuff every race. Usually I start with the fenders and work back from there.
And Alex, you've had a couple.
I've had a couple. I've had like Tyler, a new car every year, basically. This is the same car as we had last year, but literally everything on it's been gone through, and it's basically a brand new car. So we're excited.
Now, you two, what's your feud like on the racetrack?
When the helmets are on, all bets are off.
Yep.
It's the easiest way to explain it.
The best part, we're competitive spirits no matter what it is. I mean, he plays a lot of sports. I watch a lot of sports now because I'm not I'll just watch. Like the Bruins, that's great. I couldn't skate to save my life.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're super competitive in everything we do. Most of the time, we try to partner up so we don't have to go head to head.
Yeah.
But
I gotta kind of call BS on that. 'Cause I've seen you skating around 3 and 4 quite a bit.
Yeah, those are different pair of skates. Right? I can't. If it's with my hands, I can do it with my feet. No.
There's been nights where we're on the opposite end of the table, throwing balls at each other, and it's a little heated.
Yeah, we're competitive.
It's a little heated.
No matter what it is.
Oh yeah, in beer pong. Oh yeah, it's a little heated sometimes.
You know, I got the opportunity to watch Pop Brown race.
Yep.
Back in the old dirt track, and it's such an honor to see Mrs. Pop Brown sitting here watching the show tonight. And
I'm glad to have them. It's honestly for me, it's all about family, family and the little kids. I love the little kids coming out. When I ran my 4 cylinders running good that second year, there was a bunch of kids I remember on the fence every time we went out with the car, and just a little hand out the window makes them go nuts. It's absolutely incredible. And I mean, my parents, my gram, my uncle, they all support me through everything. I mean, it's the way it's been, so I can't thank them enough.
Well, the both of you go into it with the right attitude. Fun.
Absolutely.
I'm friends with both of you on Facebook, and a lot of the stuff you comment on is fun. If you're not having fun, yeah, exactly. If you're not having fun, why do it, right? And you're an advocate for that anyway.
Absolutely. That's you don't work so hard and put so much money into it to not leave with a smile at the end of the night. It's got to be that first. Yes, all of us want to win. All of us want to be competitive every week. But if you're not having fun, you're in the wrong situation. It's no matter, and that's for me. That's most everything I do. Yes, we have to go to work every day, and most of the time work isn't fun. But to pay my bills and do my stuff outside of work, that's what I have to do. Mm-hmm. And I like to have a good time. That's why I have a pretty good following, a good group of friends, because I'm usually more often than not happy and having a good time.
What about you, Alex?
Even the worst night at the racetrack is still a better day at work. Even working on a race car. I can't tell you how many times this month in March. Oh boy. Oh, sorry.
Thanks, Janelle.
Getting frisky over here already.
Both hands.
No,
You want me to yell?
Bring it up to your ear.
Closer.
There's times where at work the past couple months getting ready for race season, I can't wait to get out of work just to go work on the race car. I dread work 80% of the time. I bet everybody does, but like Tyler said, you gotta pay your bills so you can do stuff you like to do. So you suck it up, but I can't wait to get out of the shop or out of work to go into the shop, and I spend 4 or 5 hours in there, and it's the best time ever.
So we got some comments from some people here. Let's see. Let's scroll it back here.
While you're looking through that, I want to say hi to my cousin Nancy, who's watching from up in Thunder Road's backyard.
Oh, really? The ones the ones that race?
No, the same family, but
Yep.
How many cousins do you think he has?
a lot.
Emily Miller says she wants an AP race shirt or sticker.
We can make that happen.
Scott Shearer says it's almost race time. Ryan Waterman, hey Studley Tyler Lescord.
Hey, buddy.
Bonnie Reed says hi guys. Drew Davis is watching. Jeff White says Fearless Freddy. Dan LaFleur says AP has gotten better in the off season thanks to iRacing. Lescord not so much.
There we go. All right. So we both got bored this winter, and we need a little racing fix. So I found a good deal from Dave Greenslit and Dan LaFoe on an iRacing set. I'm like, all right, let's try it out. I'm like, how realistic can it be? And it's a lot more realistic than you think it would be. I mean, the tires actually fall off. You can do a ton on the setup. You can be in groups and talk nice back and forth to each other, stuff like that.
I love quotes.
And you wouldn't believe it. Even when you start racing, there's still a whole bunch of weapons online that just wreck you for something to do.
I'm one of them. Just to him, though.
Mostly, every week. So I haven't done it that much because I've been busy trying to remodel a house and get the race car ready at the same time. So I get on maybe once a week, and I'm not as good as I thought I'd be at. I can tell you that, but it's a lot of fun.
I race more than he does. It's right next to my shop that I work at, so when I get done, I just normally a couple races a night. Sometimes this past couple weeks I haven't done much just because trying to prepare the car to get better. But it's a blast. Like I said, it's really realistic. I can't explain it because I have a better setup than Tyler does. I have a full cockpit basically where I sit down in the seat. It's really comfortable, really nice. But I've wanted it for a while. Tyler, one night after Poland Springs, like 2 a.m. or something like that, we get back to his house and he's like, "You want to iRace?" I said, "Sure." I've never tried it, so we get on iRacing. We're at Charlotte, the big track, with street stocks. Okay? Oh boy, it's like Daytona for 4 cylinders. Basically, it's ridiculous. Draft is key, and I mean, lap 1 I qualified 8th. I'm like, this is awesome. This is a hot ticket. He's like, you don't want to be there. There's like 17 cars. He's like, you need to be in the front or the back. You are screwed. So I started a race, got through turn 1 and 2, go into 3 and 4. I get a little sideways, and some dude just absolutely demolishes me. Jump. So, but I've been hooked ever since. It's awesome.
Oh boy. It's getting good. Folks, send your questions in. Send your questions to these guys. This is awesome.
Boy.
DJ or Kim, I don't know which one to say.
Probably DJ.
Tyler, tell them to bet if you win with DJ.
I don't know how many races do we go. He made a bet with a guy at work that I need to at least win a race, so he can win $100, I believe it is. But we were talking, if we go up to 3 wins, I believe he's going to come down on the track with his shirt off and take a picture with us. So my aim is to win at least 3 races this year to get him to do that.
Let me know when that happens. I'm going to try and not be there. Okay? That's my brother-in-law.
I hope he races count. That'd be really easier.
Tyler, they are after you something fierce, man.
Stay after him.
I wonder why.
I never provoke it either.
Never. Emily Miller asks, Tyler, what's it like being on the pole and having to go to the pits as they drop the green?
Ouch.
Wow. Boy. Oh, that's brutal.
Every once in a while, that happens. They probably felt bad for the rest of the guys because we probably almost had our stuff together, so it's easier to start us in the back, But it happens from time to time when you race 15 years and work on other stuff, you don't always get stuff right. Oh well. I can guarantee this year, if that happens, we will come up through a lot better than we have the last couple of years.
Well, talk about that. You got a different car this year.
I've
A couple of different cars.
I've got a Howe car that's fully Monadnock legal, that's ready to go. We have a wedge body car that needs setup and weight. The Camaro wasn't good pieces until we brought it down to Lee, and I took out the left front of the car off of Ricky Bly. I don't think Ricky liked it very much. Ricky still finished decent, so it wasn't too bad. But we bought the old Robert Hagar car off of Alan Griffin this summer. So he wanted out of it, so it was a decent deal. Bought it for that price. Talked about it this winter. With trying to work full time, me trying to remodel a house, trying to do a bunch of stuff. There isn't enough time to concentrate on the racing like we have the last couple of years. When we were good, we were working on the race car every night, putting a lot of time into it, fine-tuning, tweaking. We haven't concentrated as much as we should. Which, don't get me wrong, the division we race in there's 15 stout cars, and there's nothing there that's junk. So it's a struggle to run competitive. So this year we talked a little bit, and for the first time ever, which sometimes I'm not super proud of. Me and my father have always done everything at home, me and him. So it's when we win or podium, that's something to be proud of because nobody else did it for us. We earned it.
Yep.
So it was a big decision to break down this winter and be like, we're going to have somebody do it for us and get us in the ballpark. I'm excited about it because the guy that we're working with has a lot of the same taste as I do. He likes solid links. He likes the big right rear spring. He doesn't like a big caster split. He's got a lot of the same ideas that we have in a bunch of different cars, just not in one combo. So that is in this car now, but I paid every nickel for it too. So I hope it goes good Saturday.
Well, there's been a number of times last year you had great runs going, and then something would happen. I mean, was it the
Brake caliper 1, 2, 3,
3 weeks in a row.
3.
Yeah.
The first 4 weeks was a tire every week, and we were like 7th or 8th when that happened. So, I mean, to lose a tire the first 4 weeks and then try to figure out how to set up a car, you can't because you lost the tire within 8 laps. I don't know how the car is going to respond for 40 laps. So it took us a few weeks to finally get some laps on our belt. And then, brake calipers break or, stupid little stuff that never happens. And then the last 3 weeks we were competitive. I mean, that last night we were a 5th place car and luck was not on our side.
And Alex, last year was your rookie campaign, and you went in and well, for the most part, you struggled. Everything happened to you too. Everything would break, and there was 1 week you didn't even compete because you.
First practice, we tried to change gears, thinking that was going to be the hot setup for us. Maybe take some heat out of the motor because we fought that all year. Didn't do a thing, but we ended up having a yoke piece break, and the drive shaft came just about through the car and took me out of the race. We didn't have a spare drive shaft. I mean, it's luck of the draw. I mean, you buy something used, and just you might never know. We had a tough year. I'm looking to bounce back. We have one thing that I'm really excited about. We have a brand new power plant in there. We have a new motor in it, so no more overheating. We fought a rag issue all year. There's some part, something had a rag in it, and it got through the motor, and we could never keep the motor cool. It was like I couldn't actually physically drive the car because I have 4 of my own, and I had DJ actually program the Tyler's 4 channels. So if I'm in the car, I can actually switch my channels to Tyler's, and I can talk to him if I really wanted to. Probably going to happen this year, so beware.
As long as you're looking at the rear bumper, I don't care.
Oh, no, I'm going to do it when you're behind me. I'll be like, is that blue still okay? Is that blue all good?
I like that. All right, so we Michael Clark says, is that Cole Trickle and Rowdy Burns?
Could be.
Ed Pickering wishes both of you luck.
Thank you, Ed.
Absolutely, I plan to see you at Banana.
John Espernette says, will we see either of you boys a little south of here, say Star or Lee? Speak right into it.
In all honesty, Lee's a guarantee for Oktoberfest for us. We've been going down the last 4 or 5 years. If you want to have a good time racing, go down to Lee for Oktoberfest.
Absolutely.
You camp a little bit, you have something to eat, you have a couple drinks, and you fill it in with some racing on the side. So
I just don't have too many drinks on Friday night when you got to practice on Saturday.
He's really hard to hold his hair since he hasn't got much hair.
Yeah.
Oh, Tim Paquette wants to know.
Oh, God.
Tyler, what happened the night the tow truck dropped your car off the hook on the track?
We don't. Well, over the years, my father has never built me a stout bumper because he believes if you have to move somebody out of the way to go by them, you're not doing it right. So usually when we build a bumper, it's out of conduit. It's not out of steel like everybody else's. So if I use it, it's going to crush. So more often than not, I set somebody up to go by them. I don't rub to go through them. Well, that night, there's conduit going to the front bumper instead of hooking on the steel 6 inches behind it. They hooked onto the conduit and it blew apart. Probably not the greatest thing for the front shocks that are on it, but if the car wouldn't have broke, I wouldn't have been in that position. So
I know a guy. He works at Brownie Speed Shop. He can take care of those front shocks for you.
yeah, $20 a piece. I used to do them way too often.
He's more than welcome for the business.
Maybe you can talk him into sponsoring them.
That's a
Love to put
nifty.
Brownie Speed Shop on my car.
You're more than welcome about Brownie Speed Shop. I don't know about the deal though.
What a cheapskate.
Yeah, I know.
Brian Town says you have to use Charlotte with the supers. What would that be like?
I don't really want to know.
Yeah, I've only done a couple of the late models and the super late model races, and they pick up the pace way more than the street stocks.
It's a lot less wrecking than street stocks in iRacing.
Well, right now it is. We'll find out this season.
Oh boy.
Yeah, when they actually have some car count to watch it. I'm excited to watch that division.
I am absolutely excited for that street stock division.
Talk about the talent you guys have in your division, because, like you mentioned, 15. There's 15 cars that could, probably win every given week. Last year we had 9 different winners in 14 weeks. I mean, going into the season, who do you think? How do you handicap your chances against the group of drivers that are coming back?
Oh, you first?
You want to hand that off to me?
Yeah, all you first.
So the season I had last year, I'd call myself a top 18 car. I wouldn't say I was in the top 15 because I know I wasn't going to go out and set the world on fire. This year with the new power plant, the last 3 races, I felt like we really got the car dialed into, say, the top 10. The motor was definitely not there. Now that we have the new power plant, along with the suspension that we figured out and stuff like that, I think with some small tweaks and these practice days coming up, I feel like we have a strong shot to be within that top 15 or top 10 cars that can win at any given night.
What about you, Tyler?
I hope the car count returns we had last year. First of all, I hope we have to qualify every week. I really want to see 24 cars. That's why I've moved back up here instead of being down at Monadnock on a regular basis. At the beginning of the year, we weren't very good. I was a lot farther off than we thought. By the end of the year, I would put us as an 8th to 10th place car on a regular basis. No issues at all. It was a lot better by the end of the year, and proved that every night that I got sent to the back and had to come back up through. But in all honesty, the guys that I'm worried about the most, if I had to rate, I think Mark McClay is going to be the man to meet this year. If you have to pick a guy that I've seen race and usually has his stuff together and sits down and he can drive. He thinks stuff out. He's a smart racer. Mark worries me the most. I don't know if Jack's racing yet. We talked to him a little bit. He's got some stuff going on. But Ricky and Dylan are going to be good. That's a guarantee. Both of the Craig Smiths are going to be there. They're going to be there. And Joe Brown and Hayden Scott aren't any slouches either. I mean, if Joe could have some luck, he's one of the fastest guys.
He was last year.
Those guys are the ones that they're going to be competitive every night, and you know it. But I look forward to that's when we were down in Monadnock. We raced with Bill Johnston, Dennis Stans, Tyler Leary, Joe Monahan, a bunch of guys that are good teams, and we were there with them every week, and I plan on being there with them from week 1 this year.
Let's see what else we got here. Is it Jeremiah Losi? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, I used to race with him 4 Sundays.
You boys are my heroes.
Mike's a good guy.
Mark Shute says AP will have a victory this year.
Absolutely, I'm hoping for it.
What was your best year racing-wise that either of you had? What year was it? What transpired? What track were you at? Was it Canaan for you? Or
Yeah, I'd have to say probably my best year I've ever had was in my hatchback up at Canaan. We run, 5 or 6 races, podiumed almost every week, I think, except for 2. Just barely beat Trevor Peralt for the points race because he was there every week right with me. I think I beat him by 6 or 8 points, not very much at all. But we were a good car every week. I won back-to-back weeks. I actually won a third week in a row that I had to be taken away from me for certain reasons that I didn't like because
Why
by the rules.
Why you get taken away?
So at Canaan we always had an A-B rule. So if A got spun off of B, no matter if it was B's fault or not, you went to the rear. Well, I was coming up through one night. Bruce J. Cox was leading. Finally caught him in lap traffic, and I had the outside, and Bruce came up and spun off my nose. I didn't change lane anything, and Dick Plant was flagging at the time. He's like, that was a racing ordeal. Let it go. I won, and by the time we got to the tech shed, my father was running the track at the time. He's like, well, this is the rule, so you're going to have to lose it, and I got moved back to fourth.
Whoa!
Yeah. So it doesn't matter who it is. I've always been, this is the rule you're going to follow.
No favorites.
Nope.
Wow.
It was the rule.
Yep. What about you? Well, I mean, was it?
So, obviously not last year. Last year was not fun. I'd probably have to say my second year in the Integra. That was the most fun that I've had. The car was very fast from the beginning. We figured a lot of stuff out with the year before with the Honda Civic. That year was about equally as fun. I just didn't win or podium as many times as I would like with the first year car. But we gained every year on that, gained every race that year. So that was an absolute blast. Winning my first race was an awesome win. But this second year, it was just hands down. We finished 13 podiums out of 19 times on the track. I mean, and we were racing for points. Never, ever do that in your life, race for points. It takes all the fun out of it. The first 5 weeks we were racing for points. We were doing okay, a couple wins, and then we got into a couple bad wrecks, and it's like, we're just going to go out there and try and set the world on fire. And we had so much more fun after that. I ended up finishing second. So take all points aside, forget about it.
Absolutely.
Tyler has a good saying.
Yeah, if you race for fun, the points will come with them. And in all honesty, if you want to race for points, you can have all of mine.
I love that.
That year that we won the championship up at Canaan, we were paying attention more to points than having fun. Yes, we ended up winning, but it wasn't as fun as it could be. You know what I mean? In all honesty, compared to that year, the year after, when I ended up wrecking that car at Claremont and getting airlifted to Diamond and stuff like that, probably one of the hardest wrecks. I don't remember anything from it. We built a whole brand new car, went around to a bunch of different tracks, won at 4 different tracks that year, ran competitive with the mini stock tour. That was probably just as much fun because you weren't paying attention to anything. You're going out, I'm going to have a good time. If we run good, great. If we don't, well, we go home and call it a night.
All right, I got a scenario for you guys. Okay?
I'm taking them out.
You guys are racing for the lead.
Taking them out.
2 laps to go in the feature.
All right, I'll wait till lap 1.
Who wrecks who first?
I do.
I probably wouldn't do it. If we're running 1-2, I've won a couple of races.
It's neck and neck.
No, it all depends. Who's in front, who's behind, who's side by side. We know knows.
You're side by side.
Who's side by side? You better believe.
And you're on the outside.
If I'm on the outside, I am going to feed it, and I'm going to use the wall to my advantage.
So I'm slowing down so you can stay out there. Yeah, I probably, if he got the better of me, had the position, with a couple laps to go, I'd probably let him in.
Absolutely.
That probably wouldn't be the same scenario for every racer I race with. I have a couple other guys that I know would race me like that, and I do that for, but some people, they probably wouldn't get an edge.
All right, who wouldn't you let in?
You know a guy that used to drive a 33? If he was racing, I wouldn't give him an inch. I'd probably drive into him.
Yeah. I wouldn't let the 15 in.
Most of the guys that I race with right now, I don't have. He's an antagonist.
I know. He likes to poke the bear.
That makes a good announcer.
That's why I love working
you
with
a little bit. See how it is.
I'm the good guy. He's the bad cop. That's the way it works in our relationship.
Nah, you treat racers the way you want to be raced. I mean, if racers want to run me clean, I will run them clean till I won't hit them, won't touch them, won't do nothing. Uh-oh, Toby's laughing.
Brianna Cook says, Tyler would take a more left side weight.
Sadly, I've heard that all winter long. I don't know if I'm just starting to show now. I mean, the last couple of years, I thought it looked pretty good. But it saves on lead. Lead's $2 a pound, man.
You guys came back with some extra lead, like 3 pounds or so from Maine this last trip.
So I'm gonna eat an extra burger tonight because of that.
I like it.
What are your expectations this year? I mean, coming into the season. Alex, you can go first. I know you said you have a new engine.
Yep.
Car basically has been gone through it.
So
you're comfortable.
I mean, obviously, I think everybody's goal for any racer coming into a season is obviously win a race, top 3, be a top 5 contender. Just compete. My ultimate 100% goal. The last race of the year, we had somebody else's carburetor on the motor, and it was 100 times better. The outside lane, Claremont's known, I guess, for the bottom lane. Nobody wants the outside lane. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants it. I am bound and determined to make my car go and at least compete for 3, 4, 5 laps on the outside with some of the best. That's what I want to see out of my car. I mean, I would want to shoot for wins, want to shoot for top 3s, top 5s, all that great stuff, but I want to make that car handle on the outside like I know it can. That's my ultimate goal.
Tyler.
Last year was a huge struggle for us as well. I mean, I've been spoiled since day one racing. My first year, I won a race and podiumed a bunch of times, and almost won a championship there too. But last year was the first year in 15 years of racing that I've never podiumed. I've always podiumed in everything we're racing in. It was hard to struggle that much. So goal number 1 is to podium. Be a competitive car on a weekly basis, and after that podium, I want to win a race. That's the goal. But if we can be a competitive top 5 car on a weekly basis and have a good time, I'm okay with that.
Tyler, your handicap can come into place when you start on the pole. It's easier to start on the pole and win than it is to pass cars and win.
Don't worry, they'll send me to the pits. Wrong color on the number or something like that. Go check that out. I got you.
Is the piggy flag coming back? Is it the big one?
No, that thing's been buried. That thing's been buried. It's in the garage somewhere. I know where it is, but
okay.
I'm going to make sure that it disappears.
All right. I'll put a 15 on it if you bring it back.
Now here's your next question. Who's your short track all-time hero?
Short track all done.
Short track. Not that garbage they run on Sunday afternoons on TV.
I'm
talking real
He
race.
won't tell you a modified driver either because he doesn't go-kart races.
Real race cars have fenders.
That's right.
Anybody can drive with 30 inches of tire. It's not that hard. I mean, in all honesty, the person I look up to the most is my father, hands down. I've watched him do it himself, build it himself, drive it himself. So that's what I look up to. You can send it to a shop, make it fast, have somebody wrench on it for you. If you're not the whole package, it doesn't impress me that much.
So you're a big Austin Dillon fan?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I had that much money.
I wouldn't be racing at Claremont if I didn't. Just kidding. I like short track stuff. I'm going to kind of stick to Tyler's plan. I never really watched much racing as I was younger, other than like NASCAR stuff. But I hear stories about my uncle in the 80s, 90s, and even my grandfather running dirt, running a little asphalt. But my grandfather never really primarily was 100% Claremont. He was always like Lebanon Valley, like go out west. He traveled. He raced go-karts, I guess, back in the day, and they would race 7 days a week. They'd strap the go-kart to the bucket seat in the back of the 32, and they'd off to the racetrack we go. And it's little things like that family drives racing for me. If it wasn't family related, if I didn't have my parents, my family in the pits with me, I wouldn't find enjoyment out of it. I wouldn't make it fun. So that's what it is for me as family.
Well, when you pull in, your mother and father come in too, and usually there's some food being cooked or something being made by your mother.
That's why we park close.
Yeah, exactly. Now we got to decide. Oh, we didn't tell you we're breaking you guys up this year.
That's unacceptable.
I'm not walking that far for food.
If you're nice, I'll deliver.
I'm down with that.
If you could,
Don't say.
let's say you could race against someone that's not a family member. All right, and you could race against this person that you watch
That you've never raced against.
that you never raced against. Who would you want to race against?
Oh man. Is this short track stuff or is this like big time stuff? What are we doing?
No, let's say Claremont. Like if you're on the Now, let's say you're back in the 80s, in the heyday, 80s and 90s, when Claremont had a ton of people there, and you had to beat one guy that wasn't a family member.
I can go since you're going to think about it. I'm probably going to be a little unpopular for this one because I know the guy's super popular, but it would be Punky Karen just to beat him. Everybody's a big fan of him, talked about him for years, how good he is. I'd like to race against him just to take a notch off the belt.
You know, I think everybody who's ever turned a lap at Claremont Speedway is that same way. I'd love to beat Punky Karen in one race, just to say I did it.
On the same rules package. That'd be important.
We'll put you like an IROC cars in the old days. Even Steven.
If I had to pick one, I'd probably end up going like a Brian Baker. Brian Baker and my uncle Wally, they go back decades. Even my dad's brother, I would call him Fat Man Poisson. They had a racing team back in the day, and I believe Brian Baker either raced against them or helped, but it was called Fat Brown Sheep. They had Fat Man, which is my uncle. They had Wally Brown, who drove and did suspension stuff, and then they had, I only know him as Sheep, but he owns a machine shop in town. So they used to, that was their racing team, Fat Brown Sheep. So probably Brian Baker, just because, I've heard some stories about him, and just, it'd be fun, probably.
He's on my car. Let's see here. Larry Swift addresses this to you, Alex. Talk to Peter Jarvis about running the outside.
Oh boy!
I guess he used to run the outside.
I guess I'll have to talk.
Yeah,
Peter could run the outside.
If we can get him out of the boat from fishing and back over the track. For some reason they all like fishing now. Sounds really boring.
Well, they got their own track over there too.
That's right. I haven't watched those things, but from the way Joey and all those guys talk about it, it's got to be pretty good. I think they're spending as much as they are in the four-cylinders on those.
They've got 20-car features over there now.
We've actually talked about it, bringing all the cars over to Claremont and run the go-kart track.
Yep.
They may do that this year, which would actually be pretty cool, you know? It'd be pretty fun. Emily Miller says, if you could race any track, she asks, what would it be?
Bristol.
Really?
Bristol.
Absolutely, hands down, I agree with that one.
If you had to pick a NASCAR track, it'd be Bristol.
I was going to go with New Hampshire because it's local, but I went to Bristol at a night race when I was 21, so 4 years ago, and I rode on my motorcycle in the back of the Snake. I went to the Bristol night race. I even went down when the modifieds were practicing on a Wednesday and got into the pits, and it is an experience alone. And just to see the high banking, and it would be a blast to ride that track. Absolutely.
And just because of the banking?
Yeah, because of the banking. There's nothing better than short track racing with high banks, my friend.
If it feels anything like Monadnocks 1 and 2 in an 8-cylinder car, I'll rush.
Folks, send your questions in. We're here for a little bit more longer. Appreciate you watching here. We're live from Daddy's Pizza, 50 Pleasant Street in Claremont, with a great show so far with Kyle Lescord and Alex Poisson, two super street drivers. Looking to have big seasons this year. This will be Alex's sophomore season and Tyler's 16th racing, likely from. Yeah, I think he came out of the womb racing. Actually,
I would have been a lot happier if that was true. I don't think my mother would have liked that very much, but
you've got something else going on tonight too.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do this. So we had a great snow out competition this year, and we asked people to comment when you thought the snow was going to be gone from inside the walls, all on the racing surface, and on the infield at the track. And I've been going
the ice.
all of that. And so we've gone through, and I go up there every day and check it, monitor it, make sure. So we actually have a winner. Today was the day we declared the snow officially gone from inside the track. So we have 9 people eligible that I counted to win. If you're not on those lists and I missed you, I'm sorry, you're not going to win. So we have Don Miller, Robert Carney, Don Dooling, Todd Smith, Trevor Croto, Cinnamon St. Jacques, Keith Johnson, Sherry White, and Tim Levitt are all eligible to win. So we're going to pull out which one of you wants to do it. And we'll pull out to see who wins 2 $10 off passes. You can use them anytime during the season.
You're picking one. I'm picking one.
No, there's
Just one.
Only one?
Yeah.
Your arms are skinnier.
Getting ready to. Ooh. I like it. I like it. There's that one. I did.
This is Tyler Lescord.
That's what you
Yeah.
Tim Levitt.
Tim Levitt, congratulations. I'll be contacting you about your two $10 off passes.
Support 49.
Yeah.
And that's 2 passes to any Wednesday night show we have, correct?
Absolutely.
Exactly. Exactly.
Even
There'll be
this
something I can
Saturday
pay you.
works.
Just text me when you get there. We'll take them from you then. I'm trying to think of other,
But that's 2 passes to any regular night, correct?
well, it's $10 off.
$10. Oh, $10 off.
Yes,
Okay.
you can use them on
So it can
a
either
tri-track
be
night,
tri-track or
on
anything.
Grand State Pro Stock Series night, or one of the other modified nights. Just $10 off of your pass. Out of the two of you, who's the better dancer?
Now wait a
How many
minute.
drinks
I've
are
seen
involved?
these 2 waltz together, and they're both arguing over who wants to lead. So.
I've got some videos down at least.
Yeah,
if
put the
you want
video,
that
yeah.
down.
We can broadcast them here on the.
I like karaoke and singing at the same time, so I don't know how good the dancing actually is, but
What's your go-to song karaoke wise?
what's that song that they always play? I want to dance with somebody or something like that.
Oh, my
Gets the crowd going. I love it. Absolutely. Sing it out loud.
I mean, we have saying "Don't Stop Believing" together a
Oh,
lot.
absolutely. You cannot not sing at that song.
If they get to Victory Lane this year,
yeah, that's the
Absolutely.
two songs we're playing.
Absolutely.
And if it's "Go To" by myself, it should have been a cowboy.
Oh, really?
There's no better song than Toby Keith. It should have been a cowboy.
I mean, you guys have, sort of. I admire how much fun you guys have with with your friendship and racing too. Do you feel that a lot in your division as far as other people helping each other out, or is it?
For the most part, in the pits, not just super streets. If somebody needs something, more than likely, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get almost everybody and their brother with a hand saying, I got this, or I can get you this, or I have this. Do you need help? What do you need? Especially if it's something major happens. I've seen countless number of times somebody come in with the pits with like a Wildcat or something, and they don't have a crew. They have a one-man crew. They got a flat tire. I've seen multiple people come off the fence and just go run over to help and grab a gun, grab a jack, grab something. And that's honestly what it's about. I mean, everybody helping everybody. We're all family in racing. We all come here for the same thing. I'm not going to say that I like everybody in the pits, but if anybody needs something, even if I don't like them, I'm probably going to give it to them. I'm just going to be a little bit more hesitant about it, but at the same time, I want to race as many people as I can. So if it's that extra car that I got to get out on the track, I'm going to give them the part because I want to see them out there.
And we all want to see a good show, so that way we can pack those stands. We want thousands of people watching us, not hundreds. So the better show it is for them, the more fun it's going to be. I mean, over the last couple of years, the helping out of each other, and loaning each other parts and stuff like that has grown as the track's gotten better. So it's good to see. I mean, way back in the day, it was really good, and it took a few years to come back to that. I'm glad to see it coming back to that.
Heather Carley said, "Who has the best Oktoberfest story about the other one?"
Tyler has it about me. I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah, we were actually talking about this a couple of weeks ago. I had, I don't remember if it was Cameron Pomasco or Amy Guy sent me a video.
Amy.
We were around the campfire because we all parked together, and we were playing some beer pong and singing some karaoke and having some moonshine from Craig Smith and stuff like that. And it was a really good time. And I took my belt off for some reason. I don't really know why. And then he's over there next to me, shaking his butt. I'm like, okay. And I whacked it off him. I don't think he ever even felt it, to tell you the truth.
Not a chance. There's a couple Poland Springs later or something like that.
Oh my gosh!
No, it was a great time. And that's what you look. The group of 10 or 15 of us all just having a good time. It's always usually 4 or 5 other races around us. And
I want to say that was a good luck slap because the next night I went out there and placed second in that feature. So Thank you.
We're going to
Great.
start that every
Yeah,
night
I'm going to
this
see
year.
it now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna Facebook Live.
You need a
have
little
track
luck?
this year, every week.
Yeah.
If it helps, I'll take it.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, we thank you very much for coming
Yep.
on. You know, a lot of stuff you guys do, you support the track. I personally greatly appreciate everything you do to help the track. And that's why I'm glad you guys are here tonight for this. You do have a good following. And I think you guys are going to have great years this year. There's a number of times last year that had great runs going and something bad happened.
Yeah.
I think once that luck changes, you'll have better seasons.
It's called racing luck.
Yeah, if anybody has some for sale, I'd love to buy some.
I'm in on that one. I would like to say I have a couple sponsors I gotta thank. Twin State Harley, they came on board this year. They under new ownership. They actually have a meet the owners April 26th. It's a Thursday, 2 days before at your guys' car show.
You want to hear it get quiet?
I will be showcasing my car there from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. up in Lebanon. Just showcasing their sponsorship on the car, promoting them. They've been a big help. Newport Chiropractic came back on board. He's the best around that I've heard, and I even go to him myself. So Newport Chiropractic, Casella, I work for them, so that's kind of a gimme, but still, they've been on board since I started. So them guys are the real big three. Brownie Speed Shop, obviously, my uncle. He does everything for me, so.
Should have started him earlier on that, huh?
Yeah.
We do most everything out of pocket. So if I'm gonna thank everybody for having the racetrack. Thank people for that come every night and came here tonight. My father is my biggest supporter. You know, he's with me every night, working every night, no matter what project it is, whether it's racing or other stuff. He motivates me, works side by side with me. Even when we don't get along, he's still there. We might have to take a break from each other sometimes, but you know, he's always there to support me. So thank him for that. Big thank you to my mother for always putting up with us and everything that we decide to do. Even if I know we drive her nuts sometimes. So if I ever find a woman that good, I'll marry her.
Oh, dude, you made me cry.
And my grandparents come every week, no matter what track it's at.
Your grandmother likes me more, but we'll leave that out.
No matter if it's Devil's Bowl, Monadnock, we traveled up to White Mountains before. Thank them for that, and all the friends that have helped me out over the years. You know, there'll be nights that me and Alex are in the shop together at each other's shop because somebody else needs to get something else done. You know, you don't find people like that very often. That's the great thing about racing is the memories and the friendships that you carry over the years from it. So,
Absolutely.
So we're going to be back here in 2 weeks, folks. Mike Parks from the Greatest State Pro Stock Series is going to join us. He's going to kick off the show. Mike, I hope you remember that I asked you to do it. I'll send you a message if you're not watching.
should I steal first?
And then to close out the show will be the Riendos are going to be here to close out the show. Chris and Larry.
Wow.
Will be here.
Lightning and
That'll
Weasel.
be a good show.
Yeah, so they're both going to be here. I'm basically going to step away from the table and let George go to town on him. Because it should be a good, interesting show. You know, let's close out this question here. I mean, I should say it's a comment from Melissa Rogers. She just says, good luck to both of you this year. Joshua, would love to see you both in victory night.
Absolutely.
We hope for the same thing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And if we do, I want to see every little kid down there. Absolutely. It's all about the little kids. No, every kid. I don't care. I'll take little Josh. I
This
love
car's
him.
pretty
He's
long.
good.
I think you can fit most of them in.
I'll put him on the hood, the roof. I don't care.
Awesome, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Alex, Tyler, thank you guys very much.
Absolutely.
And we'll
Thanks
see
for
you
having
back
us.
here in 2
Thank you,
weeks.
guys.
Practice this Saturday if it doesn't rain, but it's not going to.
Rain dance?
Oh, we'll see you then.
Planting potatoes.
What do you?